Okay, guys, I really need to know. How many of you people that know about He-Man know about it from just the original cartoon and the toys? I'm pretty sure most of you complaining that's all you know about. Because, quite frankly, I feel like I know more about He-Man lore than a lot of the people in this community. You know which community I'm talking about here. Because I've seen so many people who are saying, looks woke. Oh, Tila's the main focus. She should be the focus. It should just be He-Man beating people up. All that jazz. Oh, she's going to become She-Man. Oh, that's what the rumor said. Oh, she's going to have a girlfriend. That means it's just going to be lesbians all the way. Oh, wham. Guys, if any of you know the lore about He-Man, most of you will be able to push that stuff aside. Now, I openly admit, if I'm wrong, I will be one of the first to get pissed off. I admit it. Okay? But so far, given some factors I'm going to go over here, I really don't fucking think so. Yeah, I am pissed off tonight. You want to know why? Because I am a He-Man fan. I grew up with He-Man and She-Ra. And yes, I'll get into the Netflix She-Ra series in a little bit. But I grew up on He-Man. I had toys. I don't have them with me. They're all stored away back at my parents' house. But I had the toys. Those of you that remember, I've gone over. I have all of the recent DC comics. All of them. From the Masters of the Universe, Skeletor, all the way up to the last issue of He-Man, Masters of the Multiverse. I'm not going to focus on Skeletor, but I'll get back to these in just a moment. But the fact of the matter is that anyone out there, it feels like everyone out there, the only bit of the lore they know is what was on the TV, what we could barely remember was their memories. How many of you out there happen to know that Queen Marlena was from Earth? You know, Adam's mom. How many of you people knew that? How many of you people know out there that Skeletor is He-Man's uncle? And probably those of you that saw the 2000 series, but how many of you else out there who didn't see that knew this? How many of you can remember the episode of the series you love that revealed that Tila is the daughter of the Sorceress? How many? Because quite frankly, I question how much of you really remember the show. And how much you remember, toys, He-Man, She-Ra, and He-Man and Skeletor, boom, hey, gay undertones. Really, that's probably most of what you guys remember. Because seriously, I highly doubt any of you know the lore. And I should point out that something Kevin Smith has made very clear. This is the lore, and this show is a continuation of the 80s show, yes, but it's the lore unshackled. No filmation limitations, no 80s standards and practices, none of that. And there's a lot of the lore that they've had before that they have not been able to tap into at all. Alright? They have not been able to tap into, so obviously there's going to be a lot of build up to it. And there's a lot that can go on. And given the stuff going on with Tila, given the stuff that happened in the DC version of the comic, particularly this issue, back to the matter is there is so much they can work with. And why do I have faith in it? Because one of the guys involved, Rob David, who's been heavily involved with He-Man since well before these comics, but he was pretty much the one doing most of the actual plotting during this. Dan Abnett, when he took over, he was basically just translating what David gave to him. Making his own contributions, yes, but most of it, because David was not a comic writer, he would have someone else play off of what he provided. And this eventually led into a big epic, huge epic. Basically, playing off of the fact that the Sorcerer is dead, of which I think is going to be the big event that kicks off into this show. I think the Sorcerer is going to die, and it's going to be about Tila. Tila has to learn to actually know about her legacy and become the next Sorceress. And then eventually, it's probably going to turn into a version of the Eternity War. Minus Hordak. I do not think Hordak's going to be showing up at all. But yeah, Rob David was involved with this. He was involved with the He-Man Thundercats. And even the Injustice versus Masters of the Universe, and the Masters of the Multiverse comic all say special thanks to Rob David, meaning he was involved. And those were all very faithful. Not only that, some of you want to bring up, oh, but what was She-Ra? Mattel had hardly anything to do with it. They had very little creative control, and they're due to how the contracts work from a prior administration. And then you also have and I should remind you, they hardly made toys for that line. That tells you how little faith Mattel had in with that show. They didn't care. Unfortunately, they were under contract for it all, and it was up for 4 seasons, 2 full seasons split into parts, obviously. And that was it. Once it was done, it was done. And I don't think, unless it became a huge hit, I think that's the only way they would have acknowledged it, which clearly they didn't need to. But yeah, seriously, throughout all of this gives us so much about the lore. Skeletor being He-Man's uncle, who technically should have been king. He was more worthy for it, but because he was a bastard child, among other things, he couldn't get the throne. He could be the advisor to Randor, but he couldn't get the throne. He had to, so eventually that drove him mad. Hordak approached him, and eventually he became Skeletor that we all know and love. That's a tragedy. And if they end up tapping into that and stuff, again, with Teela being the daughter of the Sorceress, that is huge, because the Sorceress is basically the protector of Eternia. And if she dies, Teela is the one who's supposed to take over, unless Evil Lyn gets to it, which is why I think here's going to happen. I think the Sorceress is going to die. I think that's going to cause everyone to go their own ways because they are devastated by it. And eventually, Teela is going to, and I think He-Man is still going to be a big part of this. I do. I don't think it's just going to be Teela and then He-Man's going to hardly show up. I think it's going to be He-Man's going to be involved in some regards while Teela's doing a different area. That's what I think is going to happen. And also, those of you who are saying, what about Andra? Did anyone of you know who the fuck Andra was until someone said she used to be white? And I sure as hell fucking didn't. I had no idea. That's one of my few blind spots. I never read the Star comics. And I don't think hardly any of you did either. And like I said, I doubt any of you knew who the fuck she was until someone said she used to be white. Oh, they're race betting. She's race betting, race betting, race betting. And that's all you guys focus on. That's all you guys care about is finding wokeness. Oh, look at this haircut she did. Oh, it said she's his girlfriend. Yeah, if she's a friend, that's a girl, which is what I think they meant. But nope, everyone wants to take it as girlfriend. They're lesbians. There's something else that's been deep in He-Man lore. The next champion afterwards is Hero. Dumb name, yes, but Hero. And that is supposed to be the son of Adam and Teela. That is set in stone with their future. Even in the show, it was implied about it. It has always been there in the series Bible. Eventually, Hero is the next one, and that is the son of Adam and Teela. All right, not Teela and some girlfriend, or not Teela's gonna be with someone else, and yet somehow bangs Adam. None of that. Fact of the matter is, you guys just want somebody to be mad, and you guys only know so little about He-Man, and you really probably didn't even know how deep the lore goes, so you guys probably chose to be all, we're mad because it's not what we want to see, and we have these little things, and we're just going to make assumptions, even though we don't have no idea about the lore that could contradict some of these details. Instead, you'd rather just be mad and outraged, because that's all you guys care about. You guys don't really care that it's He-Man. You guys just care that it's something nostalgic and and how dare the Hollywood get their fingers on it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I have more faith in this than I did with She-Ra. She-Ra put me in a false sense of security. I openly admit it. And again, I openly admit, if it turns out this thing ends up being utter garbage, I will be just as pissed off at everyone else. I get it. But there's so many other factors here that makes me think this could work. This could play out well, and I am not going to assume the worst until it comes out. I have better faith. And of course, people are wondering, why is it going to is that DC and it's gone to Dark Horse? DC lost the rights. It went to Dark Horse. That's it. DC never owned the character. Mattel owns the character, and it went to Dark Horse. DC decided, we're done with it. Okay, move on. That's it. And I'm gonna probably get back to doing those reviews eventually, but still, my God, all fucking mighty, can you people be any more petulant and just showing that how much you really don't get the fandoms you're trying to defend? Because you just are making assumptions left and right and just be like, oh, it's not what we think. Oh, it's clearly going in this route. Seriously, She-Man, she becomes She-Man. You guys really thought they were going to go there? Really? And did any of you guys remember that Teela is the daughter of the Sorceress? Probably not. Fact of the matter is, it probably never crossed any of yours mind. So you were thinking, oh, man, Teela taking over. Why would bitchy Teela take over unless they're going to make it SJWs? Because she's the daughter of the Sorceress, and if the Sorceress does die, she's going to have to take over being the defender of everything. And whether she knows it or not, that's probably what they're going with. Seriously, did you guys even think? Again, probably not, because you guys are just so reactionary. I'm sorry for being so feministic, but He-Man means a lot to me. I'm getting so fucking tired of seeing people talking about stuff they clearly don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they just rather, again, be reactionary. Just need to get this out of my system. Sorry about this, but I don't give a fuck if you're insulted, because I feel more insulted seeing people being declaring that they know what's best for He-Man. They know so much about He-Man when they clearly don't. They just know one small facet and probably even barely a bit of that, and that's all they know. Probably remember the toys more than you do the cartoon. Especially one particular channel out there. I highly doubt you guys know that much about it, because otherwise you'd bring it up, but heaven forbid you contradict your outrage. No, I'm pretty sure if you guys out there do know about He-Man and their lore, then you are deliberately just not bringing it up, because again, it wouldn't fit your narrative of being outraged. Seriously, you guys really think Teela's gonna take up the sword and become She-Man or whatever, and she's the champion? Seriously, if you knew the lore, did you just happen to forget that she could become the Sorceress and be just as much a defender as Adam? Nope, you think she's gonna take over. She's gonna be the greatest. Adam's gonna be nothing.